What's up? What's up? What's up? How are you doing out there today? This is Lee Black coming to you on an unorthodox day, an unplanned, unscheduled visit for my viewers today because I wanted to talk about a show that is near and dear to my heart. We're going to talk about P Valley today. So I decided to pop in early in the week. You know, we still have our show coming on tomorrow, of course. So if this is your first time tuning in to me, you know, you can find me on the TFG platform of shows. You can subscribe to my channel on YouTube or Facebook under TFG Ratchet or TFG Uncut. And then you can go directly to YouTube and look for Real Talk for Real Men. As Lee Black, I like to tell everybody up front, I use colorful language. I have my own opinions. So, you know, if your feelings are easily hurt, this might not be the place for you. So I have one simple motto that I've been doing for all my life as I've been doing this show and being who I am. We can agree to disagree without being disagreeable, but I respect your opinion. I respect your right to say it, and I want you to say it how you feel it. And so we're going to talk a little bit today about P Valley, and I bring in a couple of my regulars. So, of course, I got my co-host with the most, Miss Tasha from Memphis. What's going on, McMac?
What's going on, Black?
All right, all right. Well, how you doing today, real quick?
You know, it's the perfect end to the shitty day. It's storming right now, so if I lose power, it's just storming. So
Understood. Well, appreciate you, sweetheart, for joining. Looking forward to hearing your commentary. And then I got my favorite couple on this motherfucking planet. I got Miss Hannah and Mr. Burt. What's going on, fam?
What's going on, man?
All right.
Glad to see y'all.
Man, appreciate you guys for coming on. And so you already know we're going to be talking about P Valley. So let me start by saying this. This is one of those shows that is really polarizing, and I'm glad I got you guys to come on because this has been a hard show to talk to men about. Look, let's be clear and establish why this show is not for everybody. It is a show on Stars, and it's called P Valley. The P stands for pussy, you know, because it takes place in the setting of a shake joint strip club. And I happen to love strip clubs, but it's in a fabled town of Chucalissa, Mississippi. It's really based in part about a real strip club from Memphis, you know. Back in the day when I was living in Memphis, so a lot of the things that they're showing, this is things I actually lived through. You know what I'm saying? A club called Pure Passion, which still stands today, but it's run by, I guess the best way to describe it is a transgender, Uncle Clifford, and you know the relationship that she has with the strippers and all the things that go along with that. And what has turned off a lot of people, it's in its second season, is they have ramped up the gratuitous sex scenes, homosexual sex scenes. That is what makes it uncomfortable for a lot of men. So I want to start really quickly because I want to talk about, you know, this show and just some of the themes that it brings out. But I want to start with my couple first. I'm going to come to you next, Sasha. You know, give me, Hannah and Bert, give me your overall view of what you think of the show in general and why you're watching it. Why are you fans?
For me, it's all the above. You know, it's their backstories, what they're going through. Some things you kind of can relate to. You know, it seems like it touches on such a deeper subject or subjects than just girls out there they just stripping and getting money. And they're deep diving into a lot of situations, a lot of mental health issues, a lot of domestic issues. So to me, man, it was like it's the perfect combination of a lot of issues, but the one thing, like you said, it's the homosexual thing. You gotta be comfortable to be able to get through some of the things.
Absolutely.
They're not scared to touch upon it in the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brother Kenny, you welcome to come on as well. The only reason I didn't send you this link because I know you don't watch the show, but as you're seeing, we're going to be discussing it just in general terms. If you'd love to come on, you always my fan, but I know you don't watch the show, so I'll send you the link if you want to come on, my brother. Absolutely, I'd love to have you. You know, all right, appreciate you, Bert. Hannah, why are you a fan of P Valley?
So I'll be honest, I'm new. I'm a new fan of P-Valley.
Okay,
And first episode, it was good to me. And I have stripper friends, a couple of them. Well, they retired, but they were once upon a time.
okay.
So it's a good show so far, and I really like it. First, I'm nosy. I like to see how stories play out. I do, and I also love Loretta Devine. Anything she in, I'm watching. I don't care what it is. I don't know why.
All right, all
she
right.
makes the show funny. As far as the homosexuality thing, I mean, it is what it is. What can you do? If we gonna touch on that more later, I won't say what I would need to say. I'll wait.
Okay, we're gonna go through all of the characters.
That's a good show.
We're gonna go through all of the characters and try to update viewers as much as we can on where we think the story arc is going and what we think so far. So yeah, I just wanted to get that in. Tasha, why are you a fan of P Valley?
Well, number one, because I'm from Memphis, and so is Katori Hall, the writer of the show. So, you know, that's number one. Also, I worked at a strip club, so a lot of this just sounds so familiar. I witnessed a lot of stuff. Not me myself, like having like to be actively involved in it, but I saw a great deal, to say the least. Also, what really got me is the fact that the number one, the acting, it just is incredible. This is such a gifted group of individuals, and it is a breath of fresh air to get away from reality TV and to get to what entertainment is, so to speak. Like transport me, take me away, and they do such a good job of that. And I like that it's not so many like big name stars either. It is people who may have had some roles, but they're truly going to get the attention they deserve after this. So,
Tasha, you've nailed it for me. And full disclosure, Tasha and I have a little routine after the episode airs. We literally call each other and rehash it out. Oh my God, did you watch this? And so we are true fans of it. And she nailed a couple of reasons why for me while I'm watching it. The acting is top notch, and I posted on social media. Even the guys that are playing the homosexual scenes, go on and give them the Emmy. It's brilliant. The fact that it makes people uncomfortable is a testament to how realistic of a job that they did. That as a hetero man, that we squirming in our seat like, oh my God, he fucking him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but they didn't glamorize it. They did it in a realistic way. And like Tasha said, I love the fact that these were people that prior to watching this show, I didn't know who these actors were. So to get to see some standout performances from people that now are on my radar. And that as I'm watching TV, and I'm not, oh, that's old boy, because now I'm seeing them in something else, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next. So that's great. Now, to Tasha's point, I am a connoisseur of shake joints. Once upon a time, I had memberships to 3 different shake joints back in the day. I partied 7 days a week at one point, and I went to strip club at least 5 of those days. It was just a normal thing for me at one point, and there was a point in time when I would have put Memphis strip clubs up against any strip clubs in the country. Fuck Magic City, screw New York, any other place you want to name, Las Vegas. Them hoes in Memphis, Tennessee were some of the baddest shake joint bitches you ever wanted to see. I'm trying to tell you, so Pure Passion, Ebony and Lace, to name just a couple of them, legendary. Music, dancing, and back then the food was actually even good, So yeah, so that's what I enjoy watching this. And so for me, it takes me back to a time and place when life was really, really good, a lot simpler than it is now with all the shit that's going on. So let's get into it. Let's start right at the top with Uncle Clifford, as they running the place. and Clifford is in this whole thing with Lil Murder. So Tasha and I was talking about this last night, I believe. What do you guys think? Where do you think it's going with him and Lil Murder? You know, where do you think this is going? Anybody?
I don't know. I think they both wanted to go further, but he would have to choose between his rap career or the guy he supposedly, well, he did, the postcard did say love, so I guess he do love him, he's not going to say it. But I feel like it's probably not going to go as far as they want unless he chooses, and he's not going to choose because he's not just a rapper. He in these streets. He really is a little murder, so that's a lot to do. So I don't think it's going to go as far unless, because if somebody find out, it's over.
Well, to that point, that he's living with Clifford now and seems to be getting more comfortable with himself. And then if you look at the scene on Sunday where he shows up with Tina Snow, which is Megan Thee Stallion, you know, a guest appearing on the show, it's becoming more obvious that he's getting a little more comfortable. For you, Bert, how does that, as a heterosexual male, you know, how do you feel as you watch the interaction between him and Lil Murder, Clifford and Lil Murder?
To tell you the truth, it's funny because I know that Clifford's a man, but he has a heavy woman tendency. So sometimes I keep saying, like, if he didn't have that beard and everything, and the height and all, you really wouldn't be able to really tell all the way. But this interaction is really like comical because it's almost like a tug of war, so to speak, like making sure that the one don't have an edge over the other. But I think that I'm not sure what the deal was with his friend when he shot himself or whatever.
Okay.
And I think remember when he said, you know, you'll never know what it feels like, or I might be quoting it wrong, to not hold somebody's hand that you love.
Right.
And remember, he sat there and he was just stuck, and I was like thinking about that board.
Absolutely. You know, and I'm glad you brought that up because when it comes to Tasha to expound on that, there were so many deep underlying moments, you know, in each episode, but this episode in particular is setting up the finale. And Clifford was referring to her grandmother who has COVID. And he was saying that I wish I could be there to just hold her hand because this is depicting what really happened with COVID, that a lot of people, when they went to the hospital, they died alone. They were in isolation, ICU, you couldn't see them. And that is probably, in my mind, the most horrific part of COVID when it first hit was that if you contracted it, you were whisked away and put on incubators and you died alone. So Clifford was saying asking the question, do you know what it feels like to not even be able to hold the hand of somebody that you love? And yeah, you can see a little murder processing because remember, he hasn't actually told Clifford about that. He hadn't been able to talk about it yet. So Tasha, what do you think about, you know, the connection here in the relationship and where it's going? And welcome. I appreciate you popping in, my brother. And you too are welcome to come on and talk.
I will say that I'm hoping that they can, you know, work it out so bad, just because I think that they would just be, you know, like such a good couple. Can you hear me?
We lost you just for a second. You say you hoping they can work what in?
I hope that they can work it out and be together because I do want to see those two together for this specific reason.
Okay.
When before Teak died and they were sitting in that little bar, you know, eating,
right.
how Lil Murder described Clifford and how he made him feel. Give me somebody who loves me like that to describe me like an eclipse. let somebody love me like that. I think that's kind of like what everybody wouldn't mind having. So for me, even though it's unconventional, it may be unpopular, it may, for a lot of people, it may make them uncomfortable. I would love to see that, like that storyline continue on because I'd like to see how it develops.
Wow, wow. What I like about this, and Tasha and I were arguing back and forth last night, men and women see a lot of these themes in such different ways. Well, at least she and I, we see it in different ways, and we're gonna really come in class when we start talking about my baby girl, Mississippi. We come into her next. But I don't necessarily know if I want to see them continue. And for me, I'm gonna tell you why. As a cis man, hetero man, I guess that's what they call us these days. This is what I shared with Tasha. This gonna sound crazy to people. I could deal with the fucking because I think that's what two men probably do. They fuck. I get lost when they try to romanticize it. For me, it's where they start to lose me. When Lil Murda fucked Teak, Big Teak, and he spent him around and stuffed him, I was sitting there like, okay, he fucking him. Do you know what I'm saying? And so on this episode, when he had Clifford hiced up on the table in the kitchen and fucking him, this gonna sound crazy. I could take that. The scenes that's the hardest for me is when they laying in bed, all hugged up and romanticized, and I gotta look at Clifford's big ass head. So, like you said, Bert, in a weird way, I can lose myself into kind of seeing him as a woman with his mannerisms in his normal way he carries himself. But then when they slow it down and they try to romanticize it, that for me is where it gets a little bit icky, because I can look, I appreciate Tasha, love and relationship between a man and a woman. Two grown ass, hairy ass dudes, no.
But of course, for you, it's not going to make sense. And and again, because something that you are attracted to, and so you'll never be able to wrap your head around it. But I mean, it's just him and his boo laying in the bed pillow talking. That's a beautiful thing.
See, Hannah and Bert, what y'all saying on this?
Look,
I mean, what's crazy though? I watch the show, but I don't watch it as when I see their love scenes. I don't see it as like homosexual. I just see it as they just falling in love. Like I just watch it to watch it, so I don't separate. I just see it fall in love.
I appreciate it. Bert?
I'm gonna shoot straight from the hip. I'm uncomfortable all the way, but it's one of them things. I'm like this and like what are y'all doing?
Right.
like for me, like you said, that part, like when they're hugging and you see them big old feet and everything, I'm like,
See, that's my dog. That's my brother right there.
Why y'all looking at feet?
That's my brother. You help us.
We're trying to give it a shot because of the show, so we're sitting there like, all right,
right.
A shot now. All right, and then next thing you know, it's like they and I'm like, I can't do it.
No, the Bert is right. How you gonna not see it? And that's the thing. So look, please, gay people don't have. I'm just telling you how I feel, But I'm not. Oh my God, disgusted. I'm gonna throw up. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna fuck, fuck. You know what I'm saying? I get that part. It's when they romanticize it for me is when it kind of gets a little bit out of pocket for me. So that's where I stay. And so if you haven't viewed the show, yeah, this is what you're gonna see. That's a part of it. Now, and before I go on to Mississippi, I will say this. What I appreciate about that, though, the fact that we're talking about this and to hear Hannah and Tasha say they view it as just him and his boo, I mean, and Hannah's like, she don't see it the other way. That is a testament to where, though, as a society, I think we've come, that we can sit and for probably most viewers, they're going to feel more like y'all than they do like us. that, hey, this is just love. This is just a relationship. And I do applaud that. You know what I'm saying? Because I've even said in my personal life, on a personal level, I don't demonize homosexuality. For me, there is no one sex act. I don't put it on levels than the other. You know, what I do in the privacy of my home and what two grown men do in the privacy, I could care less. You know what I'm saying? If you're not fucking with kids and old people and hurting animals, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I done stuffed myself in some strange holes that just happen to be, you know, women's. But okay, you know.
It's like,
Huh?
let me ask you this question. It might seem a little crazy. Are we being hypocritical though? Because you know, guys are there like girl on girl, and you know that's
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely. We are absolutely. So to that point, you know, we can real quickly, we can talk about Mercedes and Farrah because where this went. And what did you guys think about the fact that when Mercedes had an opportunity to get back with Farrah sexually, she turned her down? What did y'all think about that?
I mean, I expected her to turn her down. That's not what she.
You did. You expected her to turn her down.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like she was in that moment, but I don't feel like because when Coach called, she was happy. She wanted to sit. Oh wait, can we say? Okay.
Yeah.
you talking about P Valley?
You're talking
She
about
wanted to
you
dip.
can't talk about P Valley.
I mean,
and
she wasn't interested in that. She was caught up in the moment. It was good.
okay.
And I believe that if that happened again, it would probably be with maybe a threesome, like it should have been. But I don't think that that's something she wants. But of course, it's different because the wife said she already told him, I've been liking girls for the whole marriage. You just never knew. So that's her thing. But I didn't know that until she said it. But because she made it seem like this was her first time, and she's a damn lie.
Okay. Before I come to you, Bert, I want Tasha because I think Tasha feels differently because we talked about something about Farrah and Mercedes. But Kennard, you're right. Kennard says, I think that the bothersome part for men is when you see these dudes seeing the Ashley brothers from. I agree 1,000%. I think that part is what we have to get used to. And we definitely coming to Mississippi talking about her, Kennard. But Tasha, were you surprised that Mercedes turned her down?
I was surprised that she turned her down for the simple fact that yes, where I think it started out, it was supposed to be an agreement. What gives me cause to pause is the single interaction that they had with one another. When Mercedes got there to the condo and she realized, like the second time that they hooked up, that she realized the coach wasn't there, she could have left, but she didn't. So to me, it kind of lent it to where like she had like there's some curiosity there. And then also the conversation that she was having with my boo, man, I don't know who he is. I want to find him in real life and fuck the shit out of him. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. We'll get to him in a minute. But the conversation that she had with him outside and how she said, you know, she kind of blocked his hand and she's like, I'm looking for something a little bit different, did make me think that they were going to get together again. I think she's putting on. I think that she does have an interest, but doesn't know how to maybe like deal with those feelings. But I think it's there.
Okay. So I'm going to come to you in a second, Bert, because that's for me what was tricky was because she's referring to the guy Maine, who the buff guy. So Tasha's in love with this dude.
Yeah, he played for the Bears in them. I forgot.
I didn't know that.
He was a running back.
Ah. Okay. Well,
one of the brothers too that played in the NFL as well. I think they got twins down or something.
Okay. Well, the cool thing about this show is they got eye candy for us men, and clearly they got some eye candy for the women too, because Maine and Diamond is blowing up all over the place for these women. And my thing is, when she turned Maine down, that was my fear, was that, oh my God, is she going the other way? So for me, when her and Farrah had a chance to get together, before I say, what did you think, Bert? Was you surprised that she didn't roll with her?
it was 50-50 because when the first interaction, it's like, I don't do this. And then after the whole experience, she's like, that was my first time. And then when they showed the other scene where she couldn't get off on the board, but she got off on the girl on girl
Right,
type deal.
right,
So I think it was interesting for her, and I do agree with the like it was part of the moment. Like how I said, it was part of that moment. And I
okay,
think that outside, I think that's just probably not her flow. Because if she was in the moment, she would. But I think that even when they had the little talk at the art gallery,
right, right,
I'm not sure when she said, well, I'd be a little interested.
right,
I think
right.
he was trying to cheer her up, like it's not you, it's just not my thing, or did she really mean that?
That
That's
that
why I'm a little 50-50 on it.
that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I'm gonna be honest with you. She left me at this stage wondering. On the one hand, I was kind of glad that she turned the Farrah down because I want to see Mercedes get that dick. Mercedes better than a motherfucker. You know, even though Mississippi got all these young girl moves, but I was watching the dancing of the episode last night when they was on the pole, and while Mississippi might be younger and got all the stuff, but she ain't got shit on Mercedes in terms of sex appeal to me. The way Mercedes be working that body, and when she was up high, she did some kind of click clack shit with her legs. She'd have got my money right then and there. I want to see Mercedes get that dick. I'm gonna tell
All $20 back. All
all
20.
I'll spend all 20 of them right there.
You know, not
Hey,
20.
exactly. You say you about all them tricks with them.
$20 is my
She
limit.
did something. You want
$20
that.
is my limit. What's up, brother Lamar? How you doing? But she did some kind of shit up on top of the pole where her legs was going back and forth real quick, and that's when Clipper stood up and was like, and I was like, she is doing that shit, and plus she got this little grinding thing that she do. Mercedes is sexy. Mississippi talented, but Mercedes is sexy to me. And yeah, I need to see her get some D. I need to see her get some dick. I don't already see her lipping and lapping and carpet munching between some legs and whatnot. And to your point, Bert, we are hypocrites because that didn't bother me. Not even in the least. Not at all. But I've always said a woman's body is beautiful. The way God made a woman's form to me it's just beautiful. You can take the ugliest woman, but if she got a fat pumping ass and nice titties, you know what I'm saying, and her feet ain't all jacked up, I fuck midgets.
You will find a diamond in the rough.
You know what I'm saying?
Find a diamond in the rough.
Absolutely. I fuck midgets, so I just like the feminine form. Men, I don't give a shit who you are. The football player guys, men's bodies, we're utilitarian. We this close from being like apes and shit. So we lumbering around.
You know what? Not apes. We're not saying that.
I'm just saying.
Sit there.
I'm just
You are
saying.
not going to sit there and downplay the male form like that. No, it is more than that.
Thank you.
Right.
Nope.
Beating the chest real heavy.
Let's go to my girl, Mississippi. So I'm going to start right with here. Before we get into our storyline, do you like the story arc of Mississippi? What do you think of Mississippi? I'm going to save Tasha for last for this one. What do you guys think of Mississippi? Obviously, her storyline is one of abuse. And then you saw last night the whole thing that happened. Tell me what y'all think of Mississippi. How do you feel about Mississippi?
She can leave.
Why?
I don't know. She doesn't do anything for me on the show at all.
You don't sympathize with her story, a woman being abused with 2 kids?
I sympathize with that part because I dealt with that before.
Okay.
Not to that extent.
Okay.
But I was in domestic violence, so I sympathize with that. However, I'm trying to get into it, like I sympathize with that. But when you were on the road, and I knew, first of all, as a parent, I wouldn't leave my kids with you. I don't care how you are. If I know you beating me and then the person you beat is out of the way,
Okay.
that's who else gonna be there? And I'll say this one thing too, real quick. They was good with everything. They did the COVID, they did everything to make it look realistic. There's no way. My mom has been a social worker since I was a child. There's no way they was gonna let that child leave that hospital with all them bruises on them. They had everything so realistic. It's like they just dropped the ball with her in certain parts. I mean, if she leaves or stays, but I just don't care for her because I know she gonna go back to him.
Okay. So you don't sympathize with her at all.
Cause she gonna go back, and it's not just you; it's the kids.
Okay. I
Like you
respect.
got kids.
Yeah. I feel you. Are you? What do you feel about her getting with Diamond? You know, are you rooting for this, or what do you think
Her
about that?
Diamond.
Yeah, because Diamond's in love with her.
So that's the thing. I was rooting for them. You can get over a lot of things. You can't get over nobody putting no gun on you. Like I was rooting for them. First season, I was like, yes. I was cool with that. But you pulled the gun. Not only did you pull the gun, you pulled the gun on somebody who was trying to save your life.
Okay.
If they two, I'm gonna say right now, two men fighting, I probably would have jumped in. But if Bert was out here rumbling, I couldn't see myself out here jumping, trying to stop it if it's just two. Now, if somebody else jumping and somebody wanted to catch one a kneecap. However, I would just let them handle it as men. For her to just pull out that gun for somebody who's trying to save you, I just think that's unforgivable.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. Bert, what do you think about the character arc of Miss Mississippi?
Can't save her. She don't want to be saved. Like, no. You know what? I'll tell you this much. I wasn't feeling Mississippi. I was rooting for her and Diamond up until that part that Hannah was talking about. After
Okay.
that, I was just like, yo, like I can't mess with you because that's
Okay.
dirty. You know what I'm saying? That's the last thing you should have did. And like Hannah said, we was talking about it earlier. She could have shot up in the air, a warning
Okay.
shot, just for everything to cease. If it was that out of control, or her heart was kind of torn, but she was still more
Right.
closer with the husband.
Right.
Um, Second season, seeing her character development, seeing her backstory, I kind of grown. She kind of grown on me a little bit. Um, where she's a likable character.
Okay.
I'm not rooting for her and Diamond only because of the fact of that altercation.
Right.
Only because of that. If that did not happen the way it did, I would be
Right.
rooting for them all the way. If they get
Gotcha.
together, that's great, whatever. But if they don't, it doesn't bother me none. But I can't see that show without her now because of season 2 and all the things that she went through, and then what she going through with the husband. Because the guy that's playing her husband, he playing that part.
Yes, he is.
He
Yes.
right. He playing
Yes.
that part. He might
Yes, he
need some counseling after this.
Yes, he is.
I do
Yes,
want her
he
to make
is.
it better. I do want her to make it.
Yes, he is. He's hated. Yeah, I'm
I
sure
know he
walking.
is.
I'm sure walking these streets in real life, he getting it. It's coming to him because he playing the shit out of that role. For sure. Tasha, tell everybody what you think of Mississippi, because this elicits our strongest disagreements. McMahon.
Let me just start by saying this. This is my opinion. It's not up for debate. It's none of that. Ain't nobody gonna be able to tell me nothing different. I cannot stand that bitch. She's manipulative. She's so manipulative, and she plays heavily on her looks. She does that whole damsel in distress in distress shit. That somebody needs to teach that hoe how to fight. She's so weak. She makes me so angry. She makes me so mad because she's had ample opportunity to do something about Derek or to leave or to improve her situation. She always makes excuses to why she can't do something. Even her storyline that week that they did, like pretty much where they focus on her, that shit made me mad. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. You trapped him. You trapped him. Bitch, you were on top. You had experience. He said that he had never been with anybody before. You were on top. So now you want to do that whole thing. Oh, now you pregnant. Yeah, now your family don't want nothing to do with you. I'm sick of her. I'm sick of her. And then last night, how she gonna sit up there on the stage and cover her head with them heavy ass shoes on? You mean to tell me you couldn't have slipped a shoe off and hit somebody in a leg or something, knocked them out your way, slid off the stage, anything? No, she sat there and she just wanted to be coward and she wanted somebody to come save her. Diamond made me mad when he did that shit. I hope Big Bone fucked that bitch up. I can't stand that bitch. And that's just how I feel about Miss Mississippi.
No,
Well,
I don't believe that's how
No.
you really feel.
She really
I
man,
can't
was
stand her.
going head up over this
Take
subject.
my line.
I'm telling you. What you talking about?
Because I feel the exact opposite. The exact opposite. And I'm going to make my case for Mississippi. Bert, you're 100% correct. In season 1, Holly even really noticed her. She was a mousy, back of the scene character. I could see she was ambitious and kind of wanted to learn or whatever. And then when it played out how it ended, I too felt the same way. Like, well, damn, this dude stepping in trying to save you, and you take sides against him. Oh, fuck this bitch, blah, blah, blah. And here comes season 2. And to me, this is where the testament of the writing comes into play. When they told her story arc, it changed my complete understanding. I have actually known women who've been in abusive situations. It is not a lot. On the outside looking in, it was easy for me to say, well, why don't she leave? Why don't she get out of it? She have opportunities to run. And then having lived through that and watched people that I know and respect, because I dated somebody that by day, this was a strong, positive, assertive woman. And going home to a dude, I had to whoop this dude's ass. He was 5'8", 5'9", about 145 pounds. And it blew my mind that you're letting this little dude beat you on a regular basis. But that's where I had to, as I've gotten older, abuse and the way they told Mississippi's story, it did something to me. It opened up something inside of me to where I understand why she's there. I understand her fear of staying. It's not logical necessarily. It's made her way more attractive to me than I ever thought. I find her super attractive. Would Tasha consider her weak? It does something to me to make. I told Tasha this the other night. When you start singing that song, Bert, don't save her. I understand that. As a man, you want to save this person. Now, of course, if she was ugly, I wouldn't be thinking that. But the fact that she is chocolate, nice little old body on her, perfect size little old titties, ass for fuckable, you know what I'm saying? And then she can do her thing on that pole. I truly believe that pussy is definitely better than I would expect. I believe she knows what she's doing. So I like her. And then Sunday's episode, I think when the violence broke out, it triggered everything inside of her in that moment. This is a girl that is living in fearing for her life every day and violence. And for her, Tasha shaking her head. She was in a state of shock. She didn't know what to do. And even it made me understand why she pulled the gun, because guess what? As illogical as it may sound, I've seen people defend the abuser. I've seen them, and there's a real condition that's called Munchausen syndrome. No, not Munchausen. I think it's called Munchausen syndrome. Where you fall in love with your captor.
Stockholm.
The Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is a real thing. And so where Tasha hates Mississippi, Tasha, I love her.
Of course you do, because you got the S on your chest. You can't save these hoes though, especially that one. Because she don't want to do right. She don't want to help herself. She don't want to do none of that.
She's trying to
You
learn.
have a problem with weak men. I have a problem with weak women. I have that problem. Because sometimes you got to do it sometimes. You got to know sometimes you can only rely on yourself.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And so I actually don't, I understand. And for me as a man, that's why I feel something for her. She's vulnerable. it makes her more attractive. Some people, it makes them more attractive when they vulnerable, because when you do have these bossy bitches, like you talked about Big Bone, I would love to fuck Big Bone, but I would not let that bitch sleep in my house.
But you know what? She always been somebody that's been like dependent. Because even when they show in high school, she's dependent on dudes. She running back. I'm dependent on mom. I mean, even though they weren't there for her, she is a little needy. But I can't picture her not being on the show though, because just because of the character development now.
And
Right. I don't think they get rid of her either.
And so I'm going to ask the question here at the end, because that's what me and Tosh were talking about that too. But I want to get to the other main character in the show really quickly. Let's talk about Haley and her situation. So what do you guys, I'm going to come to you first, Tasha. What do you think about the Haley storyline, and are you rooting for her?
I'm definitely rooting for her. I hope that she is having twins like Whisper said that she is. I hope she is. Now, as far as her and Andre, I don't even know like how I see that. I'm rooting for Haley because I know how much pain she went through losing that first child. And so being able to have two, that's why I'm hoping for her. Also, the fact that as far as business goes, her business smarts, I hope that, she's able to negotiate whatever it is, get her money and get gone, get out of there, keep moving, keep pushing. So I do hope, out for her. I can't see her leaving, leaving the show. I can't see that because, it's such like an integral part, but I do think it's going to be some extra shit that's going to happen there.
Okay. Okay. Bert, what do you think about Haley and her storyline?
It's an interesting storyline. I hope it does work out with them too.
Okay.
They got some good chemistry there. But I just think something coming around behind it. Something's coming. She been doing her thing this season, handling her business and trying to get that done. But I just feel I'm hoping that them two can work it out. Because I can really see them doing something with those two as a couple.
Right.
Something's coming.
Something is coming.
Something is coming.
Hannah, what do you think about Haley? Haley and her storyline. Yellowbone, who owns the pink. She owns the one who owns the pink.
I hate her. She could die tomorrow outside the pink, and I would not give two shits. She's trifling. She don't care about nobody but herself. You came to the pink to get saved, and then you want to get rid of the same place that saved you. I don't like her. She's trifling. I hope the wife beat her ass, even though her dumb ass is sucking dick inside the house. I still will whoop her ass. I don't care what I did. I'll beat your ass. Not only because of that, because I was at that funeral and saw you take that deal from my husband at the time. So on the strength of that, I'm still beating your ass. I don't like her. I didn't like her first season 1. I can't stand her season 2. She is trifling. I don't like her. I don't care about her, the baby she carrying, nothing. She needs to go. I do not care for her.
Okay, so I was not expecting that. And here's the thing. I'm leaning more on your side, Hannah.
Y'all some haters. Y'all some fucking haters. No.
Everything you said about Mississippi, I apply to Haley. She is manipulative, cunning, scheming, and selfish. She out for just herself. And I love what you said, Hannah, about the paint don't mean nothing to her. So you swooped in and took advantage of a situation, and she all about the money, all about her situation, when a lot of the trouble and shit they got into was her shit. This is all her shit. That like I said, that Mercedes and them, they came to care about her. Now, while I sympathize with you running and this and that, but I don't feel the same sense of vulnerability with her, Tasha, that I do with Mississippi.
Of course not.
Because I think
she ain't dumb.
She's
not dumb. That's why.
Maybe that's it. But now while I don't hate her, she's not one of my favorite characters. Now in season 2, the standout performance that I cheered her on is when she finally gave Andre some of that pussy. Now that scene, she earned her stripes. When he Lamar, you said I'm gonna have to watch this show. Let me tell you, my brother, this one episode is worth the price of admission. He was fussing at her, and she said, "Well, what do you want me to do, sir?" He said, "Crawl." Every man in America felt that scene. She took that dress down, Lamar, and she started crawling. Mind you, now she's nice looking, yellow bone, nice big old nipples that's red. Ooh, my God, ain't nothing like a yellow bone with them red nipples that's fat as a $50. Ooh, Lord. But I'm gonna tell you something. She was crawling on her knees and got up to him, and then here's the part that just turned me on. You know, I had to sit up in bed and take me a drink. When she looked up at him and said, "What you want me to do now?" I'm telling you, she did her thing. And when she pushed him down on bed, his dick was standing hard as 10 rocks. She climbed on board. She rode that dick. She rode that dick and ought to teach a class. I give her credit. She was sexy. Lamar and men out there, even if you don't want to see the homosexual scene, Haley knows how to get that pussy. Yes, indeed. And so I want to keep on the show. If for nothing else, she be breaking Andre off.
How can you? Okay, I got a question. Because how can you say that she's selfish when she took the money that she was stealing from Martavius to save the pink? When she went back for Mercedes, she could have left. She could have said, "Fuck all this shit. I hope this shit goes underwater." She could have not have affected the deal at all for the casino deal. She could have done all that, but she went back. She saved it.
To me, so I'm gonna answer that. You said she's smart. She's always thinking. That bitch saw an opportunity.
Thank you.
She saw an opportunity because she is smart. I ain't gonna take that away from her, Tasha. Mm-hmm. She went from them telling her what to do to now she's the boss, and judging them and telling them what. And to her, it's not a place. And like me and you was talking about the other night, that place been around since her grandmother was performing there. This has been a place that has saved. You want to talk about saving some hoes? A lot of the people that live in Chucalissa, some of them who got straight jobs, they owe it to the Pank, because it's been standing that building and saved a lot of these hoes. So to Haley, it's just a place.
And without her, it would have been bought up by the casino even sooner, and it would have been leveled. Nothing. Clifford would have got goose egg.
But she still says a two-edged sword. Like I understand, but she still says it.
Y'all got a point. I'm not knocking that, but I just think she's an opportunity.
For her motives, but we're just saying she saved it. That's what
I agree. For selfish ass motives.
Bingo.
Why? The pink wasn't no cash cow. Bingo. It wasn't no cash. Let's be clear. It wasn't no cash cow now.
Okay, Tasha, so I'm going to answer this way. You're right. But this is where her smarts come into play. You're right. Season 1, she saved it. And what happened when they came back in season 2, which they need to do for real? She turned it into an opportunity. Remember the very first episode before they opened up? When they had them bitches stripping in a car wash.
That wasn't her. That was Clifford.
I'm even still. Haley sees an opportunity. Haley is smart, man, and I wish they would introduce that idea. But so that was good. We got about 10 minutes, so I want to ask y'all a question. There's many more characters on here. We mentioned Big Bone. We got Roulette. We got Whisper. We ain't even talking about her mom. We got Diamond. We got Maine. What's old boy who's a little murders manager?
Wody.
I love me some Wody. All these characters. Who is your favorite character outside of the main ones we just mentioned, and why? Who
Roulette is my favorite
when they come on screen.
Roulette.
Why?
At first, I didn't like her because I was like, "Oh, she a little shiesty asshole." But what she did in that hotel room, I got mad respect for her. She ain't nothing but a hoe. She's a madam. I love me some Roulette because she she is not even kidding. She's so Memphis to me, and that's why I guess that's why I love her. She's just so Memphis.
She
Just remind me of Memphis.
Memphis. She Memphis all the way. What, Tasha, educate us out there. What people don't know who may have never been to Memphis. All parts of Memphis ain't the same.
They are not.
What part of Memphis is roulette?
If I had to guess, probably South Memphis. If I had to guess,
South Memphis. If you've never been to Memphis, trust me, if you go to South Memphis, you're gonna know. You're gonna know that's different from Raleigh and Fraser and some of these other places. And the two places I was thinking, Tasha, is either South Memphis or Orange Mound. That too. That toe is they come and gangster. So roulette will kill you. Roulette will kill you. So okay, who is your favorite character outside of the main ones?
Tasha, they mine. I love roulette.
I
have a girlfriend who I ain't putting a business out there, but she was in a similar situation. She did call me to be a getaway driver. That's neither here nor there. But it is what it is. So I really love her because she don't just look out for herself. She look out for the people around her. And she don't have to. She could be selfish. Now, I don't know how her and the guy about to do. I don't want him to soften her up because I like her as is. So I hope that goes nowhere.
Question. You say she's looking out for them?
She's looking out for them and herself.
Okay.
But I just don't want her. I don't want her to be in a relationship with the guy because I need her to stay on her game to be her.
Okay.
No,
he needed that gun to his head. So when it's the time to move, she there. When the girl was out there crying, she was there. Like she look out for herself, but she makes sure the people around her is okay as well.
Okay.
Now I just want to say this though. She's about this close to being like bipolar, like schizophrenic. So she needs some balance. She this close. So
more like this close. But it makes her. It makes her a character. And she's from Snowfall.
She's from what? Yeah, she sure is.
Wanda.
Yes. And the transformation from that character to this, again, give her a award to
go farther. She really gets into character.
Oh, she's making a name for herself.
She gets into character.
No, any director out there now, and they gotta cast a hard woman. Hey,
yeah,
they coming to her. Despite her height, that little motherfucker is showing you she went from this character in Snowfall to this. Hey, I gotta give it to her. I to the point where I can't stand the bitch.
Really?
I can't stand her little old funky ass. I bet you a pussy stink, but I bet a head game on point. But I bet you a pussy stank. And he was scrubbing his fingers down on that pussy. But anyway, I digress.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
But she don't need to be with him.
Oh, she ain't trying. I don't think she's trying to be. I know what you said. You hoping that he don't. But you know what? That tells me that you say that. You can take the roughest, toughest woman, you know what I'm saying? A good finger between that snatch, it take all that away.
I think she likes him.
No man has ever taken care of her before. That's what I'm scared of.
I think she likes him though because he would do that for her.
Yeah, but he needs to go.
No, I like him.
I'm just saying. And that's why you can have. I've dated 2 police women before on them streets with that badge and everything. But you know what? Those are the most needy, fucking insecure people you ever want to date. Will never date another a female officer because again, women who have that much power on the outside, them bitches usually got a whole lot of screws loose and insecure and everything. And so I fear for that guy that if he start fucking with her, she'll kill him. He step out of line, she'll kill him.
Oh yeah.
She'll kill him. Bert, who is your favorite character outside of the main people?
Hopefully they'll reintroduce him back into the show and see him for a little bit, but it's that manager.
Who?
Took the bull out. Took the bull trying to rape Mississippi.
Now he was your
Whoa.
main.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I
Okay.
banged with him.
I like Bodie because he just plays it cool. He in the
Right.
cut, and he just level headed, and he know what he about to do. He playing chess out here, but I'm not
He
sure
did.
how big a role they gonna give him. But that's my man.
He did. He did. And I do hate they killed him because he was magnetic when he hit the screen. The way he did things, you know what I'm saying? He was on top of his game, and I hate that.
No. He's talking about the other one, the one that killed
The
them.
one that killed him.
Oh, you're talking about Wody?
Whoa, yeah.
The manager, Wody, yeah.
Okay. No, I'm talking about. I actually was talking about the one who got killed. I loved
Oh,
him.
he had to go back to Ruthless.
You talking about Teak?
No, the who Wody poisoned.
Yeah.
Oh, Rome. I couldn't stand
Yeah,
him.
Rome.
Rome.
There you go.
I
Rome.
Fucking
loved Rome.
Predator
I
is what he was.
knew where it was headed, but I love Rome. Okay, but to your point, Bert, I love Wody. And if you look at Sunday's episode, when the guy, what's the guy say, you want to fuck Tasha's name?
Man, that's my oof.
Maine looked up at the stage. You know what? I went back and watched that episode. And when Maine looked up at the stage, guess who was looking at Maine? Wody. Go back and watch the episode. Wody see everything. Wody see everything. And even though Lil Murda was watching the scene and the guy Maine looked up at him, you know, Wody was looking directly at Maine. I love me some Wody too. Wody see everything.
Yeah.
And what I love about him, he do what has to be done, and he ain't got no conscience with the shit.
Yeah.
He do what has to be done. You
He know
know,
all the secrets, and he don't say nothing.
I love it. I love it. I got to give my shout out to my favorite character, and I'm praying. It looks like they might have killed her off. The grandmother. When are we gonna truly appreciate Loretta Devine?
Preach.
That's the first thing I said. I watched it because of her.
I mean, seriously, you know, what has she been in that she ain't been good? She can play anything, and she has to win an Emmy for this role. She's playing some half blonde, drunken, former madam, and I'm talking about owning every motherfucking scene she in.
Yes.
Just played it to perfection, and even her storyline of how she's going towards the water and the whole thing with that, the symbolism and all that kind of stuff is just deep, and that hit my heart. We don't have the official word, but when Clifford took the call and then came in and said goodbye to Mississippi, I can only assume the news he got is that she died.
I'm thinking the other way.
Me too.
Me too.
She lived.
I hope y'all are right.
To think she died.
God, I hope y'all are right, because I'm not ready to let her go. Which
I
gives
can't.
me time for one last question. Back in the 80s, when a show was this popular called Dallas, you know how they ended that show? Who shot JR? Y'all might be too young to remember that, you know, and that was where everybody was on edge. Me and Tasha was talking about this. I think somebody gonna die. Somebody gonna die. If you had to pick, because Bert, you said even about Haley, something is coming. So as we end, whose fate, even if they don't die, whose fate is going to be hanging in the balance by the time we talk about this next week?
Okay, I'll go because I'm the newest fan. I'm not going to say that. I'm not saying this because I don't like her, but I think Haley is, because I think that Big Bone, and is that her name, Big Bone?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other girl, the one who we didn't know what she was, who's with Roulette?
Whisper.
Whisper. I think they have something to do with the guy that got killed. I forget his name. And
Martavius.
She's gonna, since she saw that kiss, I think she's gonna go back and remove that ring, and it's gonna go to shit in the pink.
Okay, and you think Haley's fate gonna be one hanging in the balance?
All of their fates, because once she removed that ring, there's no protection for the
Yeah, but you got to pick one character.
Haley, she's
Haley.
done. The club is going to Whisper, because that's the other girl. Remember, that's the girl from remember she was staring at that ID? That's what's her name? What you call Savage? What's the first name?
Lakeisha.
Lakeisha Savage. I think that's her.
I
Ooh,
think it's Big Bone who's
ooh,
Lakeisha.
good point.
Mm.
Good point,
Y'all
though.
both going now. I'm like, what?
Good point, Hanukkah. Keen eye. Bert, who you think fate's gonna be hanging in the balance?
Little murder.
Hmm.
Don't
And
don't
I'm
say
saying that out like listen, the woman that played the boy who died, the baby mother, and she was like they pulled 30 out of him, and then when she was talking to the football, the buff and the other guy, that's OG. They're gonna get at him. If Lil Murder gonna be around there, it's gonna be an issue. You see how the way he was, his leg was jumping. He said niggas got me jumping. Like it was some heavy hitters there. They're gonna get at him.
Tasha and I talked about this, and she's of the mind that he's too big of a main character to kill off. And I said that, well, on The Wire, they killed off Stringer Bell. Okay, so I like it. I see. So I like your thinking, Bert. I like your thinking, Bert.
But that was
Tasha.
season 4 or 5. They killed off Stringer.
And he
They
was
killed him off immediately.
the most popular. When they killed Stringer Bell that night, it left you shook.
Right?
You was shook.
I cried.
And that's why Tasha, they will kill off of main characters.
Let me tell you something, Black. If I don't think that we have all emotionally recovered from Teak dying. I don't know why I was so drawn to Teak. Like I want much for him. I know me emotionally for having that imaginary funeral in my head for him. I'm not ready for nobody else to die this season. I'm hoping that it's just gonna be one of those things like where the episode ends. You might hear a gunshot, but you don't know like what happened.
Okay.
I cannot emotionally live through anybody else dying on this fucking, except for Mississippi. I hope that bitch does die. I can't stand that hoe. If that would be the only person I would not be mad about. That's the only one.
And so I'm gonna end by saying that's who I think fate is gonna hang in the balance. When Big Bone saw her kiss him, she also said in that episode, not only that the walls have ears, she said they got mouths too. Mm-hmm. And then Tasha pointed out that she was holding the ring over old boy's face. I don't think she would do nothing to him.
Me and Tasha here.
I don't think she would, but I don't think she would do nothing to him. But she don't give a damn about Mississippi. And what I'm so scared of, this girl has got a passport, got her money, ready to leave. What if she tells Derek and Derek beats her to death? I think Mississippi's fate is, I think they've blown her character up, but at the same time, I would not be shocked if she is the one, because you talk about an emotional investment, Tasha.
I can't.
After all of they've taken us through, they killed off Tasha. They killed off a man. Tasha, they killed off a man. Tasha.
Damn, that's why Clifford was staring at that mirror. You're right.
Like you're right, because remember she was in slow motion, taking in everything, and I was looking. I was like,
Tasha?
"Oh, she's not going to die." And then when the fight happened, I thought she was going. Actually, I thought she was going to die.
Tasha,
I thought it. Came and saved her. I said, "Okay,
Tasha,
okay."
I got goosebumps, Tasha, because I went back and watched the episode, and everything. I hope I'm wrong. I really, really do.
You're right.
Everything is screaming inside of me. Mississippi is gonna get got.
I really don't. I honestly don't believe that they are going to allow anybody else major to die because we cannot emotionally deal with this. Because you know we're gonna have to wait for like a long time for the next season. I don't think that they would do that to us. I refuse. Y'all saw this just by chance. Did y'all see the funeral program somebody made for Big Teak online?
No, I have not.
Oh my! They added music to it and everything. It's so good. It's so good.
I gotta go see it.
Yes.
Send that to me.
People said they were going to submit it to work for bereavement because.
Send that to me. Send that to me.
Okay.
Send that to us.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Sure.
Do y'all miss that Big L that got fired? That was hurt.
That was wrong. That was wrong.
I was hurt.
Exactly. That's, you know what? Even though he was wrong, You don't fuck with somebody that know where the skeletons are buried, and somebody that been your ace for a long. That could have been handled differently.
Well, remember, he did chase after him.
He got the phone call.
And then he got the phone call and took
True,
his attention away.
but-
He hit the L, and then he went to the phone.
But my thing is, I'm not so much worried. What got me, Bert and y'all, is not that he fired him. Miguel said, well, I quit.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, I quit.
Yeah.
That scares me.
Woo!
That's scary. So that's you see. Anyway, we went over a little bit. I only was gonna do this
Oh,
hour.
yeah, we can go, yeah, I know,
I'm
right?
watching this, and if you haven't watched this, if you go back and see this episode, if you don't know, P Valley is worth a look. And I hope that this hour that we've discussed it, we've let some viewers know this show is about so much more than the homosexual scenes. Look,
Yeah.
I'll tell anybody if that's what you're worried about, get up and walk to another room when those happen. You know what I'm saying? If it bothers you that much. But you are missing, in my humble opinion, some of the best writing. Tasha, you said at the beginning, all of the reality shows on TV and the bullshit, and these dog days of summer when nothing as good is on, this show is a standout. It's turning unknown actors into, I think, what's going to be some household names. The writing is magnificent. The storylines, as you guys are hearing us talking about it, this goes way past homosexuality. Please broaden your mind way past that. This show is about generational curses and abortion issues, COVID. You know what I'm saying? It's about abuse. It's about so much more, and it's being told in such a realistic way. This is you're cheating yourself if you miss out on this just because you're afraid of watching somebody get drilled in the ass. I'm just gonna say.
It's so it takes such a backseat, and it's not every episode. But I mean, if that's the only hang up, man, you were absolutely right. You're missing some great writing.
I'm
Really
putting
are.
this up there. I'm putting this up there a little bit. It's getting near towards the wire, where the way these characters are.
All right, now.
No, I said it's getting there. I didn't say they're.
I'm with him. It's not there, but
it can get there.
With season two, they came so hard. I see your face, Tasha, because I think The Wire is the greatest show I've ever seen.
It is.
Ever seen. Every single episode, every season was completely different. But I'm saying, I agree with what Bert's saying. They came so hard with season 2 that this whole season has been standout performances. The show deserves an Emmy.
Yeah, it does, for real.
And when I sat and I thought about the different power from 56 that's out there, you got all these other shows. I'm sorry. I'm with you, Bert. This is the themes that they cover, the acting, the controversy, the stuff they've touched on, the performances. Oh my God, they've elevated the game. I got to give it to them.
It's a lot. We didn't even touch on the Mercedes mom, the pastor.
That's why I'm saying generational cursing. That's why.
We didn't even get to Corbin.
Oh
Wow.
God! Oh my!
Damn.
That right there. That made me need a shower after the last show. Like I felt dirty. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. Whoever, if y'all ain't watched this, y'all just don't know. This shit is way deeper than that. Corbin is a mixed child. This motherfucker paid $250,000 to get beat.
And I would just want to say here, just as a disclaimer, all of us mixed people are not walking around here so fucking fucked up in the head like that. We are not all like that. Please, I just want to say he does not speak for all of us. We may look alike. We are not the same. Okay.
I love it. Represent Big Mac. Represent Big Mac. Tasha, tell him you ain't got no damn hang-ups about slavery and some more shit, do you?
Not in the least bit. You don't hit me with a fucking thing, okay? Unless I ask you to do it, okay?
Now you do like a little bit of whippings now. Let's be honest now.
Not like that. You're not gonna beat me like a slave. No, thank you. That's not okay.
I'm talking about sexual beat. You don't mind a little. You don't mind something around your neck.
In the right context, okay? I wouldn't mind for Maine to he could beat me with whatever he wants to. He's the exception, okay?
Damn. But again, how you feel about Maine is if I had to choose, if just one person on there to sleep with, and I'm going over and I don't give a damn at this point. If I had to pick one chick that I could fuck on there, whew,
That'd be hard. Don't do that to yourself.
Huh?
That's too hard for you.
You have no idea how hard that is, because I find Mississippi attractive on a intimate level.
She's very pretty.
I would love to fuck Big Bone because she got everything that you want to just beat the dog shit out that pussy, you know. And then Haley, and then Mercedes.
And he would still break off Patrice too. So don't let him stop. He'll break off Patrice a little something, okay?
Well, Patrice was throwing that thing.
After she opened the show and showed that she was limber, Patrice could get it too. Shit.
Patrice said, "You say like mother, like daughter."
Patrice could get it too. And then I'm gonna tell you something. And coming from a club, that little monstrous ass roulette, I bet you that pussy is taut as it can be. You have to air the room out, but I bet you it's good.
You know what? I feel like she the cleanest one.
Hell no.
You know what's crazy? The ones you least expect. I'm gonna be honest. I had a couple friends who used to make.
Now that's true.
The ones who you least expect were the cleanest ones in there.
Well, we go about look like
I agree with you on that. But roulette, roulette is about her money, and if you pay her, she going. And so now that pussy tart.
Not tart. Why not be tart?
I'm giving her a compliment on it. I'm not saying it's funky. I think she keep it clean enough to not be funky, but it's definitely tart.
Right.
Don't talk about my bitch like that. Don't do that. Don't talk about her like that. Don't do that.
You hear the disrespect up here.
Who got the cleanest box? I believe Mercedes.
I believe it. And
Mercedes.
I don't even suck about it. Excuse me.
Mercedes. And that's why.
It's the wine.
So yeah, we didn't even get to all the characters, but this show was filled with backstories that.
What if he killed Mercedes' mom to win the election?
Say what?
I said, what if he take out Mercedes' mom to win the election?
She could win.
Because she stole the money.
She could. I like what she did. That was a boss move that she gave it back to the crowd. I got to give it to her. And so in fact, I'm gonna say this: I only want to see Andre win if Haley's at his side. Tasha, you said Haley is smart. She would be the brains. He is a weak dude. Yeah. And so I would dig him as the mayor. Now you know what he showed me in this last episode. He had a little bit of his uncle in him. You know, when he had if his character starts going over towards what his uncle was, he's going to become, because the former mayor, that motherfucker was something else.
Since we're still talking, we got to go ahead and just talk about Andre and his wife. We have to, just real quick.
Oh my God.
We have to.
Viewers out there, this man walked in on, before we even say that, he was living in Chucalissa trying to close a deal for the casinos. His wife was living back in Atlanta. She's a nurse. She's a hypochondriac nurse at that. You know, this is during the time of COVID, where she's so hypochondriac. She basically, when they in the same house together, they sleeping in separate rooms. Damn near look like, because she all masked up and don't want him to do this and do that. So you know, she's just hyper sensitive about being infected. And yet, this man came home and found her sucking dick of another doctor.
Raw dick too, no condom.
Right.
Forget the second. She was moaning, so she was more pleasurable for her than him.
Yeah.
I don't condone violence, but I would have beat both their ass.
This is why I didn't like him. This is why I didn't like him.
And your dad and mom could fight me too for having you.
This is why I didn't like him, because you come in and catch your wife on her knees, moaning, groaning. I'm talking about giving it in, and you don't sling nobody across the goddamn room?
In your bedroom.
In your bedroom.
In your bedroom. This wasn't the guest room. This was the bedroom. This was the primary bedroom. Y'all's marital bed.
You let the guy get out of there.
That would have got tossed out the window.
No. Even if you didn't think you could whoop the guy's ass, dude, you got to do something. You got to do something.
And he knew him. That's the most disrespectful part. You ain't just sucking some random. You sucking somebody who your family thought you should have married. It's the disrespect across the board.
And so with that said, go ahead, Tasha.
I was just wanting to say, and it's the fact that you were so you didn't want to infect the upstairs when Andre was there, but as soon as he left, you brought in someone else. Y'all wasn't around there up there fucking with masks on. You were super raw in the height of COVID. Absolutely. In y'all's bedroom, so you infecting the whole upstairs.
Absolutely. And so on the backdrop of all of that,
you can clean yourself up.
So on the backdrop of all of that, Andre is stumbles into the house on this episode with Haley, you know, because again, his numbers is up and he's looking like he's taking the lead, and the next morning we're gonna find out whoever the mayor is. So him and Haley bust through the door, hugging and kissing, get ready to go at it again. You done let yourself in his house. So Tasha, you say you want to talk about it? What audacity it takes to travel your monkey ass from Atlanta to Mississippi and let yourself in my house after I caught you sucking strange dick and then have an attitude?
Word, that part.
But that's the show's character, because he felt some type of way. He didn't even feel anger. He felt embarrassed. He put the P in P violence.
Yes.
You felt hurt that she saw you kissing, and you saw her swallowing. She was damn near at his balls.
So my hope is that when they come back and find an episode, Andre, please, I'm begging you, my brother, or your writer, let that man redeem himself. If you don't get the by the scruff of her neck and tell her in some good kind of way where she can go, you know.
They gonna
Because if that was me, I'd be like, man, you go suck some dick somewhere else. I'm good. Like what?
You know, I mean, first of all, how the fuck did you get in here? What are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they got to resolve that. You know, so and that's why I said I'm only for Andre ruling, but he can't do it by himself, y'all. He can't. A strong woman with him. He ain't that dude. He ain't made for this shit. Especially in that ruthless ass little old city. We ain't even talking about the white lady who got all the eat him alive.
Man,
Coca-Cola cans in her hair.
We need Haley to deal with that bitch.
She does stand up.
Huh?
Even though I don't like Haley stink ass, she don't take nobody's shit.
I just said we need Haley to deal with that rich, to deal with them. Haley would be able to deal with them motherfuckers in Chucalissa.
Can I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
The Coca-Cola wrapped in the head. What is you ever seen it before?
I did it.
yeah, it's old-fashioned roller set, like old-fashioned. You want a lot of body in there.
Same thing, Bert. I had never seen that. I had never seen that.
Really?
Me neither.
Oh yeah, it's just the big body curls. Well, my thing from
I asked Tasha that.
Yeah,
I didn't
all
know.
family from Georgia, so that's down south. They did that big.
I asked Tasha that next thing because
Oh, yeah,
I
that's a
never
real
seen
thing.
that,
That's
never
nothing.
heard of
That's
that.
a real thing.
I never
That
heard. I never heard.
And more, not just white people do it. Black people do it too. That's a real thing.
I never heard of it.
Yep. It's the only thing, like in some of these little towns like that, in some of these areas that you got to work with what you got. Don't nobody want to stand up there and round brush your hair all damn day. Let's go ahead and throw some Coke cans in there. It'll give you the same volume.
I had never seen that.
And
Bert, I'm
no
with
heat.
you.
Same value with no heat.
Bert,
Yep.
I'm with you. I'll close out by just saying that the show itself, it has all these little hidden gems, Clifford's sayings, saying 2,000, 4,000. The shit that comes out his mouth is just hysterical. You
The
understand?
rule.
Yeah,
Yeah, somebody needs to write all those down.
It's hysterical. And he deserves his own Emmy because he playing the shit out of Clifford. The way he be talking to them, and then even the way he bring the girls on stage. Clifford is a whole show by his damn self.
But what would he win as?
Huh?
What would he win as?
His real self.
Ooh.
No, because that's what he really is.
No, he's not.
Right.
He doesn't dress like that. He still he
still
looks more like a guy.
Okay.
He looks more like a guy.
Okay.
Like he doesn't do the weaves and stuff so much.
When you saw him in that shower with nothing on, that's how he is in his day to day.
Yeah.
Well, I applaud him as an actor too.
That's another reason why he deserves it.
And then I'm gonna say this: his fashion game be on point.
Oh, I love it.
His fashion game be on point. I got to give it to him. I got whoever the wardrobe is dressing these people, like even just the strippers too. That's what I'm telling you. They deserve Emmys for set design and wardrobe. And again, I have my phone out when that show come on because I be snipping music songs that I hadn't heard in forever. Because like Tasha said, that shit had you thinking about Memphis back in the day.
You haven't driven past there?
Driven past where?
The Pink in real life.
Hell
it's in Atlanta.
Oh, wait, it's really there?
It's in Atlanta. It's really there.
Oh, I didn't go.
No, I have not. No, I have not.
You should drive past there. I think someone showed it. It's kind of like all boarded up. Ain't nothing there. But you can see what it looks like really in the daytime. You should drive past there.
But you just told
in Atlanta. That's what somebody tagged it as. That it's actually in Atlanta. So it's like it's some little neighborhood. It's a real place.
I guarantee you, then it's probably where T.I. them used to live. In that.
Yeah, it's a real place.
Okay. Anyway, we went over 23 minutes. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This was Bert's idea. He and I were talking. We was like, well, let's do a show on P Valley. I thoroughly enjoyed talking about this. And we'll close out by, we all started out by having some pretty shitty Tuesdays. This has been a rough day. I know you guys have got a wedding, and with that date coming, it's more shit piling on these. So I can imagine just the time and the pressure and just the things that's on your plate and still running a family. So I appreciate, y'all showing up because that was fantastic. Tasha had a shitty day at work. I'm in the process of moving and trying to start a new job. So this was surprisingly a stressful day. So I truly enjoyed this conversation.
Let me say this. And let me add to that. Whoever this reaches and whoever stole my motherfucking catalytic converter from underneath my car, I hope you get monkeypox so deep in your ass it never comes out. Never. Fuck you. Okay.
That's the kind of week she's having. That's the kind of week she's having.
Come on.
And Tasha, tell them how much it's gonna cost to replace it.
Between $750 and $1,400 just to replace it. I hope they. Oh my God! I hope they just a poster child for monkeypox.
That's the kind of week
so
she's having.
Let me tell you what happened to me today. Someone took my reception dress.
Okay.
And my wedding is 6 weeks away.
Okay. This has been a shitty day.
Yes.
And this has been a shitty day. And that's why I said so. What should have been just a relaxing Tuesday turned
This made
into.
my day better.
Yeah.
I am feeling so much better, and that's why I said 8:25. I'm doing good. All I need to cap my day off, I need me a real good header. So I'm gonna have to
Oh my
dig
Lord.
through my phone
Oh my Lord.
and find me a
I
real
know
decent
it's too
header
good to be true.
for
I
the night.
knew it.
Because I'm in my P Valley mode, so I need a real good header tonight. I just want some real good quality head. Don't talk. Just
out there.
Terrible.
what you say? What you say, Bert?
I said, I'm sure there's somebody out there.
Oh, I don't have as many contacts as I used to, but I got somebody actually in mind. A former worker
Oh my
who
Lord.
every now and then hits me off. So I'm seeing if I can catch her tonight while it's still early.
Yes, sir.
Come on. I don't need her to say a whole lot. Just come on by.
I'm sending positive vibes to you, brother.
That is not positive vibe. That's quick vibe.
Oh, my bad.
That will set my night straight. With that said, this has been a great surprise show of Real Talk, and we had a chance to talk about P Valley. Folks, again, I'll close out by saying, do yourself a favor, get caught up. Final episode is next week. You can binge watch and really see a fantastic show, and you'd be catching it at a time when you'd be able to watch all the episodes back to back, and you would be caught up on so much, great television watching all right before the football season kicks off. And so if you got nothing better to do, it's hot as shit, out there. You got monkeypox, COVID-19, high inflation. Turn your TV on. Check out P Valley. You won't go wrong.
Yeah.
You won't go wrong. So until next time, next time is tomorrow. And so we're going to actually be doing part 2 of those dating trends. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, we only did half, so we'll be part 2. So we'll have another fantastic conversation about all things that's real and from a perspective of our views. So thank everybody and enjoy the rest of your evening. Love you guys. All right, we'll see you tomorrow night.